We've got some fresh new young talent doing some things that I know you haven't heard before.
1, 2, 3, listen.
You got to have the why, and we know our why. So
You don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Millions and millions of people have done this already. You can get help, you can get a roadmap, you can save a lot of time, money, and frustration. Welcome to the Value Add Podcast with K&K. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Value Add Podcast with K&K. Today we have Angela Minardi with us, and Angela owns Fit City Adventures in San Diego. Kenny met her at an event that
networking event that Jarvis puts on Mondays. I don't know if it's every Monday or...
It's once a month, the Accelerated Growth Club.
He used to do it like every Monday or every 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's cool. And we met down there, and I was kind of fascinated with what you're doing.
Cool.
Number one, because it's not easy to start a company and be an entrepreneur. And secondly, what you're doing, I was like, that sounds very interesting, because I wanted to learn more about how this works and tourism, because it's such a big, obviously, economic driver in San Diego.
It is $10 billion. I think it's the number 3 industry behind military and med tech.
Wow.
Fun fact.
You were telling us some interesting stats before we got on. So it's number 3 in the country.
Four in the country.
Four in the country.
For
Okay.
conventions.
Okay.
They do a really nice job, the San Diego Tourism Authority, of bringing big conventions here. As you know, Comic-Con, that's the biggest one.
Yeah.
But
And apparently they're bringing back the cruise ships. So that's going to be another...
I did not know that.
Yeah, the cruise ships are coming back, which is another, I think it's like, $100 million that we lost of gross revenue. Yep.
Yeah.
Which is, but also too, is people forget when the cruise comes, everybody says people typically come here a day or two before and stay in a hotel, eat and enjoy
That's
before getting on
true.
the cruise. So all this stuff adds up.
Yeah.
And thanks for coming on, and
Yeah.
tell us kind of like a little bit about your background, and then how you started, basically how you started this, and like why would you want to create a company like this in San Diego,
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to be here. Well, I moved to San Diego about 3 years ago from Boston, drove cross country, kind of changed my life and everything in it, was excited to try something new, and was working in corporate. So my background for about 20 years has been mostly in marketing in corporate America. I worked actually at CVS Health, the headquarters out on the East Coast, for about 6 years. On the pharmacy marketing team and the mobile app development team. Wow. So I've got all that digital background that I translated. Also public relations. I worked at a PR agency for a few years in Boston. And then I worked for the American Heart Association, because I always wanted to do something in cause marketing. And I worked there for 6 years as a communications director.
Jeez.
So combine that all together, my love for corporate wellness and health, marketing, consulting, and I started this company about 6 months ago, Fit City Adventures.
Nice.
So, I'm just really excited to see it grow. I've gotten a ton of great response from the tourism industry, companies that are traveling here that want to see San Diego in a new, fun, fit way, or companies that are based here that want to do team building activities, but in a different way, not the average scavenger hunt, right? San Diego is a very active city. People want to get out. They want to take advantage of the oceans and the beaches. And so we do a lot of fun activities to get people active, physically active during the day.
Yeah, because I'd imagine, when you go anywhere and you don't know the city or landscape or anything, and you have 20 people, 30 people, 40, whatever you can do, and you're like, what the hell are we going to do? It's not easy just to call somebody up and just, hey, can we get 50 kayaks? It's like, it's probably a process and a nightmare.
It is a process. There's a lot of companies in San Diego that do a lot of those things. And so the benefit of working with Fit City is that we vetted a lot of them, and we have partnerships with some of the best and the best pricing. And so we've kind of taken all the guesswork out of it, and then it's a one-stop shop, right? You can just make one phone call, and if you have 2 hours or 3 hours during a day and say, hey, maybe I want to do something with yoga or kayaking, where do I go? And so we help them facilitate that. It's been a lot of fun.
How did you come up with the name?
Fit City Adventures. Well, I definitely wanted the word adventure in there. That's, just kind of the brand, is the active lifestyle. And San Diego is a fit city. The idea actually came from a bus trip I was taking through Morocco last year.
Whoa.
Kind of crazy. So we were sitting on a bus. It was Ramadan. Everything was closed. And we were in a tour group, and it was all 20 and 30-year-olds. And we wanted to do something active and fun and fitness related to stay healthy, because we were obviously not eating very healthy on the trip. And we couldn't find anything. And we're like, wouldn't it be great if there was a fitness kind of tour group or company that started that showed us the cool ways to see a city, being out there and just, hand it to us on a silver platter. So I thought, wow, yeah, I want to start that company. But I want to start it where I live, because I love San Diego, and it's such an active city. So that's kind of where it all started to come together.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're 6 months in, but so what are you targeting? Like, who's your main audience? Who's your main customer, client?
Yeah. So it's definitely focused on corporate
Okay.
groups, groups that are traveling here for a convention or conference and have a few days here in town, or companies that are based here and want to do some team building activities. Some of my larger, I guess you could call them targets or partners, are hotels. So hotel sales teams, sales directors that have groups that want to do something different. As well as destination management companies or DMCs. They're the event planners for the big companies that are coming here. And then HR managers, right? Event planners for companies based here. Again, looking for something fun and active to do for their employees. Wellness directors are big partners of mine too. So obviously everything we do is focused on health and wellness and fitness. That's our
What
brand.
kind of things can you do in San Diego? Because I know that you can go and do the standard kind of touristy stuff, but is there other things like yoga in some like really amazing spot where you get to view the city, or things? What kind of stuff are you doing?
There are. So we actually try to curate and create different experiences around that SoCal lifestyle so people can live that life, even if it's just for a day or two. So if you think about SoCal, you think beach volleyball, surfing, skateboarding, all of those things we do.
Skateboarding, wow.
We're bringing on a professional skateboarder, female actually, who does camps with children and clinics, and that would help teach as well. So
That's cool.
we just find a spot and make these things happen. We have some semi-pro and pro AVP, former AVP volleyball players. And so we run a clinic. It's amazing. It's about an hour clinic. And then what we like to do with each of our events is partner with a local nonprofit. So we will be working with I Love Clean San Diego to clean the beach after the volleyball clinic. And then we roll out fire pits and do a beach bonfire with tiki torches and s'mores, and it's really fun. Yeah, so we try to make these group experiences so that people can make memories and we can help facilitate it all for them.
I mean, that's pretty awesome.
cool.
I mean, if you're coming from like the Midwest, you're coming here on a company trip and you get to do this stuff. I mean, that's totally like
Different,
most of the
right?
time they're coming here. Let's be honest. You come here, you work, you go out, you get hammered, you eat, you wake up, and you do it again and again, because that's what there is.
That's true.
So
And they're not doing the research ahead of time because they're just thinking they're coming here for work or whatever. It's not like they're
Right.
at home researching this stuff before.
Right.
They're not going to go like say, hey, let's do a bonfire and make s'mores after we do,
skateboard.
Well, yeah.
Right?
No, they're
Yeah.
not. And they don't have a lot of time to leave the hotel. So
Yeah.
the other thing we do too is bring things on site. So we do yoga classes on rooftops with meditation. So lunchtime we bring in, one of my partners is Saffron and Sage. It's a wellness spa in Little Italy. So we bring them in during lunch and do stations. We'll do Reiki, hand massage, reflexology, acupuncture, sound bath,
Jesus.
sound healing. Really cool new kind of concept that's big now. Is we have about 30 or 40 different instruments we just roll out. Everyone's laying on the floor, very relaxing. So it really depends if people want leisure or adventure. We have it all. So
What's the typical range of how many people are doing this at a time? Like 30, 40, 50, or what's your typical,
well,
like-
it totally depends.
Okay.
We have a company called Spin and Go that will roll out 10 spin bikes. It takes them about 20 minutes to set up. And again, we can do them in a conference room on a rooftop, or we have permits for all of the parks and some beaches too. So
You do it on the beach?
you can do it on certain beaches.
Holy
Yeah, you need a
shit.
flat space. But it could be groups of 10 up to groups of 200. So
Really?
we're working with Surf Divas, which is the biggest surf instruction company on the West Coast. I did not know that, but on the West Coast. And they're right here in La Jolla Shores. And Izzy, the owner, is fantastic. And she's been doing this for 20 years. She was one of the first kind of female surfers out there. And if you think about the surf culture, it's so bro-y and it's so cool
Yeah.
that these two women, they're twins, sisters, that started this company, and they're still there in La Jolla today. So we're going to be partnering with them to do these large-scale events. They can have up to 200 people, so 100 people in the water, 100 people on the beach doing, kind of team-building activities at the same time. So it's pretty cool that we have that. Yeah. The ability to do small and large.
What's the biggest group that you've kind of...
The average right now is about 50 people.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot still.
It still is a lot. And we do things in stations or segments, and it's really the best part about it is it's so customizable. So when we do a workout class on a roof, we've got the 10 spin bikes, but then we also have a boot camp going on at the same time.
I was going to say, because not everybody's going to want to do spin or boot
No,
camp.
boxing's popular.
Cool.
And then we're also bringing on this new class, which I believe the Hotel Del does a little bit of it now, but it's the concept of actually being a mermaid for the day and putting on, it's amazing, putting on mermaid tails, which, by the way, if you have not done, the core workout is insane, cardio mermaid. And so you swim in the pool. There's 20 people in a pool doing this synchronized swimming aqua aerobics class.
I want to be a mermaid for a day.
Yes.
Dude, that is awesome.
Yes. It's amazing.
I think we've all dreamed of being a mermaid at some point.
Think about the Instagram, too.
Yes.
Oh, right?
It's hot.
Marketing.
Marketing. I'm trying to get my friends at the Ondas to do it, and the Kimpton hotels. I think those are great kind of boutique hotels that would do really well at.
What hotels are you working with?
Yeah, so those are, we're definitely forming a partnership. We're excited to work with them. That's definitely the demographic, young, hip, active clientele that necessarily don't have a big gym there or a nice spa, so we can bring in those services. As well as, the resort type hotels like Paradise Point Resort is another that we're in conversations with as well, because they have a great recreation program.
They have a great property.
Beautiful property. But, we can roll out those bikes and do a sunset spin class, and then they can head over to the Barefoot Bar and grill and have some drinks right after.
Back the calories back on.
Right. Yeah.
San Diego, you're on vacation.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
There's actually the other kind of rule out classes. It's called the well-built trailer. And my friend Scott built out this trailer. He tricked it all out. It has all the equipment in it, and it's got battle ropes, kettlebells, TRX. And he just has permits for all of the parks in Mission Bay, and you can roll it out and just have an hour boot camp. Really, really cool. Yeah.
What's some of the stuff that you're kind of digging, the adventures that you're doing now that you're liking?
Yeah. Personally?
Yes.
Okay.
What's your personal
What's my
favorites?
hot topic? I like them all. I'm definitely going to be getting into surfing this summer.
Okay.
I'm excited for that. Volleyball, 6 feet tall, so I guess I gotta get into that. But right now it's rock climbing.
Okay.
I just worked a little bit with REI. They do this really cool class it's their outdoor experience. So you go to Mission Trails and you can actually do an intro to outdoor rock climbing without having climbed at all.
Okay.
It's amazing. I'd like to get to Joshua Tree and do some rock climbing there. I thought it would be easier me being tall and being able to grab and stuff, but it's actually more legs than you think. So it's definitely a hard workout. But I have some REI friends who want to help teach those classes too. So
That's awesome.
So you're super active yourself. So are you active like yoga, or what kind of stuff?
Yeah.
So do you, obviously the stuff that you're presenting, are you having to go test and make
I
sure
do them all.
Okay.
100%.
So you've done the mermaid.
I have done the mermaid. I have pictures. I have pictures of it. The video that's on my website, I was actually taking that class, and the mermaid stuff is on there.
When we post this podcast, we have to get a picture of her in the mermaid.
Yeah.
I want to make sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I have one. I can send you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I have done them all. I'm really big into yoga and meditation. Obviously, starting a business, it's important to, be fit and have your mind be right, because, you can run in a million different directions, you guys know, all the time.
Yep.
So that's important to me. And then I just try mixing it up. Like if I'm going to do spin class one day, then a boot camp the next day. There's so many free workouts in San Diego every weekend. I can tell you probably 5 that are happening tomorrow.
Wow.
In Liberty Station,
Yeah.
all around town. Yeah. So it's out there. I post some of them on my website. I encourage people to go check them out. But yeah, you don't need a gym membership in San Diego to be fit and healthy.
Well, it's kind of funny because we live in such a perfect place to be outside that so many people are still going to a gym. You're like,
True.
why?
They're used to it. They're comfortable.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. If you have a tight
And you have
time
machines.
schedule.
You just go to the machines and you do
Yeah.
the weights. And, I think the outdoor workouts, you have to be a little bit more creative. But like you said, I mean, I see those groups at Liberty Station all the time, especially. It's such a perfect spot. It's flat. It's perfect for walking around afterwards and things. But
Yeah, there's a group called the November Project. And
I've heard
they're
that.
fantastic.
Yes.
My
Yeah.
friend Brogan started it back in Boston.
Yep.
They have tribes in 50 cities, and it's free. So you show up, just show up every Wednesday.
Joe
That's
does it
their
every once in a while.
slogan.
Okay.
Just hashtag just show up. And it's like 300 people, and everyone's kind of bouncing around. They do runs and then body weight workouts in Balboa Park. Which is a beautiful park that we probably don't take advantage of as much as we should, being here in San Diego.
right.
And there's trails there that people don't know about. That you
They
can
just
run
did one in
on.
Savita.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like wet outside, so they're a little late. So Joe and I just worked out in the gym, but they ran up Savita and up the stairs and all this. And I was like, there's probably like 100 people.
Oh,
It just
yeah.
rained the night before, but yeah.
It's a good one. It's a good one for people to check out.
Savita
You
will
should
eventually be a
come.
good place for you to, probably the parks you're building and stuff will probably be a spot you'll land, I bet,
Okay.
for
I'll
her.
have to check it out. Yeah.
in the future.
If there's hotels nearby.
Mission Valley.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they're redoing that whole resort.
I mean, all these hotels are getting redone. Like
Oh,
even
yeah.
the one over here near the mall. What's it called? Town and
I was
Country.
just there for the Women's Leadership Conference.
But that's going to be that would be a great one for the Mermaid, the big old new pool, a bunch of mermaids swimming in
and
the pool.
all the casinos that are completely being redone in the pools.
Yep. Paco, which one did you just go to? Which one did you
Harris, Harris pool.
No, which one did you just go to? Which
Which one do I go to?
No, which casino did you just go to? They just
Sequan,
redid.
right?
No, I didn't go to. Oh, I went to Squan last Thursday.
But they
had
redid
a
it.
Grand opening for their hotel. Very nice, by the way.
Yeah.
It's, almost like on level with Vegas. So they're really
Wow.
catching up. I mean, they're almost on the same par.
I mean, San Diego definitely is like for you're looking at, but it's stepping its game up big time.
100%.
Like Doug Manchester. I mean, you can see. That's one thing I was going to ask you is like, I feel like when people are bringing conventions here or companies here and stuff, I mean, they're probably strategically. Do you think they're starting to pick? I got to go here for a conference, or I want to bring my company here on a retreat or something. Do you think they're like, when you talk to them, are they saying we're picking San Diego because I know the employees are going to love being here, getting out, but also I want to bring more value with these. I mean, what is the conversations like when people are calling you? Like, how does that go? Like, how does the company just start the process?
Well, they normally go through event planners like those DMC groups,
Okay.
or which are national, or they're looking at bids and they're working with the San Diego Tourism Authority and the Convention Center. I'm also a member of the San Diego Tourism Authority,
Okay.
so they then get they field all kinds of calls and questions. Of course, people want to come to San Diego for the weather. It's year-round. They have their big sales kickoffs in the winter. They bring their families, and they're looking for stuff to do. And then they have an hour in the morning. So that's when I get calls from the Tourism Authority saying, this company has an hour. They want to do a yoga class. Help me out. I got a request for goat yoga, like you name it.
I saw that the other day on TV.
Goat yoga. They
Yeah.
walk. There's a farm in San Marcos that has goats where they
And you
walk
can do
on your
yoga.
back.
Yes. They step all over you and everything. I would
They
totally
also
do goat
poop
yoga.
on you. So
I know, but they're
What?
so cute.
they're little
Yeah,
hooves.
they like what you'll be doing like the pose, whatever you're talking
Down
about.
Downward
dog.
dog.
Yeah, and they're like jumping all
like
over-
this. She's like, what's this? A Superman pose? Like,
child's pose too, and they're like
Yes,
walking
yes.
on, like stepping on your back.
It just
Yeah.
pissed
I don't
the
want to
crap
admit
out
where
of
I
me.
saw that
Yeah.
episode of The Housewives.
Oh
my God. No, you're right. You're right.
Ay, ay, ay.
I mean, well, people are coming to Southern California. They want the SoCal,
Yeah.
you
They
know,
do. They
lifestyle.
totally want it.
We're
Yeah.
known for being those like weirdos that do things like
Yeah.
that, right? It's
or healthy foods.
They think it's
and-
cool though. People
Yeah.
think it's cool because they're like, I wouldn't do that. I'd love to do that. It's so out of their like for somebody to just get on a like I can imagine somebody from the Midwest just paddle out on a surfboard.
Oh, yeah.
It's so crazy and overwhelming. I mean, for me, I've been surfing forever, so it's like whatever. But for them, it's so crazy just to
Yeah.
get in the ocean and the whole feeling and the vibe.
Well, I mean, in La Jolla, when we kayak, you see there's seals and dolphins everywhere. You know,
Yeah.
I actually kayaked last year with my partner company, Everyday California, and there was a whale in the cove.
So
cove.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
was scary, but also awesome.
Yeah.
And you can swim with like the leopard sharks. I know people freak
yeah.
out, but I'm like, that's just like people are scared, but I'm like, they're harmless, but it's a crazy experience.
It is.
There's a couple hundred of them swimming below you. It's insane.
Snorkeling, yeah.
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 What is the feedback you get? Like, for example, when somebody comes, you got a group, and how are people like, what's the feedback? Or some
Yeah.
people, do people like say, do they have an option like you're doing this, or they're volunteer, or
Yeah.
how is it like?
So I normally ask questions up front. I have like kind of a list of questions that I ask. Do you want to do, what's the group size and budget and things like that? But then how active do you want to be?
Yeah.
So we've got leisure, active, and adventure. And then do you want land, sea, or air? Because there is Torrey Pines Glider Port. You can paraglide off a cliff.
Holy shit.
Which is amazing. 30 minutes in air, down the cliff you can't do that anywhere else.
Yeah.
True. That's
So
true.
I do try to highlight the different things that people can do.
I forgot about that, man.
Yeah.
I see it all the time at Blacks. Yeah.
Right. Or you can actually go night paddleboarding. So there's at
sounds
Mission
cool.
Bay Sports Center, they have rental paddleboards that light up about 10 feet out and down. So you can see everything around you. Everyday California, that you can kayak into caves.
That's true.
Really cool stuff. So the feedback's been awesome. But we do try to make sure people feel obviously comfortable doing things. The cool part about, say, Everyday California is if families are there, they don't all want to do this adventure kayak, they can snorkel. They can rent boogie boards or surfboards. So we do have options for people. And then at the end, they usually roll out, they have a keg that they've worked with Society Brewing. It's called Everyday IPA. And crack that for the groups, and so people get to just chill and have a fun day. So we like to throw in all these extra stuff for people that I think makes a really big difference. That's what people remember and want to make them coming back for more. So.
Yeah, because you're hoping, that's one of my things the hero's going to talk about, is like they come do this experience. That's how a lot of people find San Diego. It's like, oh, I was there on a business trip or on a convention. They're like,
Right.
This place is ridiculous. They go do one of these, like, I'm bringing my family back. For sure,
Absolutely,
right? Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, the family part of it is fun, or they just want to move here, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Which is fine too.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of repeat business for sure. Yeah.
And it seems too like people are not necessarily wanting that kind of like the tourism companies that set you up on these tours that are super touristy, like the food sucks and it's not very good and it's
Right.
they're like shuttling you around in like a bus and all this kind of stuff. It sounds like these are more like these feel like more of a local fun, like something that we would all even like to do, not just
Yeah.
if you're here visiting.
Yeah, and a big part of it are the local companies where, people work here all day, every day, but they don't get to do these things.
Yeah.
And a big part, I think I mentioned earlier, is of what we like to do is partner a local nonprofit or a local company that provides, maybe food and beverage and healthy snacks. All local. So I Love Clean San Diego, the Boys and Girls Club, Shelter to Soldier is an amazing nonprofit that partners dogs with vets. So we do try to do that in kind of all of those larger activities where, the company that's coming here can give back to the community.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what are I know we got started, what's the top probably 5 adventures or so that people are picking? I'm just curious about that.
Yeah, well, right now yoga is really popular and easier to set up at hotels. It's quick, kind of in and out. Same thing with spin. Those are probably the 2 most common that people are familiar with. But I think once people do something like or hear about the volleyball clinic, like I was mentioning, oh, wow, that's really cool. Yeah, we definitely want to do that. And anything that has that nonprofit tie, I think, larger companies, it kind of aligns with what they're looking for and what their budget can support. So I would say, yeah, probably yoga, spin, and volleyball.
Okay. What's the typical, how long are people going for? Like if you have a 50 person group, what's the
Yeah.
activity? You can only do an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes we do just an hour yoga class, and sometimes we do 3 days of packages. So if they're here, say from Tuesday to Thursday, we complete the itinerary with them where they could have yoga in the morning, a sunset hike, and meditation at Torrey Pines. Wow. Lunchtime kind of acupuncture stations the next day or some massage. And then the last day they do a big bang like volleyball clinic or surf camp. So it depends on their schedule and budget, really.
And you're just setting this up? Are you showing up to make sure it goes right, or what's
Yeah.
your position in all this?
I like to be there for
Okay.
sure if I
Wow.
can. But I have amazing partners that this is their business and they know what they're doing. So, that's why I work with them specifically, because they're just really professional and they follow through. So, yeah.
Have you guys had any, I don't know how to say this, anything scary happy with clients or real
Not yet,
interest?
No.
No fun stories yet?
No, I wish I did. No, I don't. That's actually. No, just people like not wanting to get in the water or seeing animals that they don't want to see in the water, mostly around the water.
Yeah.
Especially if you're coming from the Midwest or something and
Yeah.
you're not in the ocean.
Like, no,
I
it's
mean.
not. It's a dolphin.
Your shark story.
Oh. It wasn't scary, I promise. But I just looked like a piece of bait hanging on the rope in the water. That was when we went to Fiji. I did the scuba diving with my friend Nikki. We were the only two in the
You
group.
did a shark dive.
It was a shark dive.
Okay.
We did a shark dive.
Okay.
But see, I'm light and they didn't weight me properly, so I kept floating when everybody else was at the bottom.
You're floating
watching.
up, yeah.
So they were like signaling to me, go over to the rope,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
the
yeah.
anchor is, and I'm sitting there, and there's these sharks like
Oh,
swimming
circling.
around, and I looked like a piece of bait, just like hanging in like.
my
everybody
God.
was looking up at me like, "Are you okay?" Like they don't seem like the kind that want to eat me, so I was all good. But,
That's
I
way
think
better
they're
than
reef.
mine. My scuba
Like
diving
reef.
experience.
And I'm not that scared of sharks too if I know that they're not the aggressive type. Then because we're
Yeah.
here, we see little sharks all the time, and it's kind of
Well,
like
you're
whatever.
shark diving, so
Yeah.
you went there
Well,
to see
I
sharks.
am going cage diving with great white sharks in
That I
November in
wanna
South
do.
Africa. So
Wow.
I would be scared. Like I would be really scared if that happened. But
like
yeah,
fun.
I want to do it. But it's
I'm terrified.
terrifying.
Right. But like I've gone bungee jumping in New Zealand. I've done lots of these crazy things. This is my birthday, so every
The water's
year.
cold too, right?
It's springish, summer. It will be cold. It's Cape Town. But yeah, seeing a great white shark, this like face
Yeah.
with teeth this close.
Yeah, you're like, is this cage holding up?
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I'm totally out of my element in the ocean. That I'll jump out of things like planes but yeah, being in the ocean is scary.
And I know you've traveled a lot too.
I do.
Do you like is for your love of travel? How to like? Obviously, you said this is why you started this, but where have you gone? Like,
I am a big fan of tour groups. I generally travel internationally by myself so that I can meet people from all over the world.
Nice.
I'm going to Egypt in a month.
wow.
And Amsterdam, Paris, and Barcelona, staying at hostels and winging it. But my favorite trips, I've done a group called Kentucky, and it's 18 to 35-year-old travel party group.
Yeah.
I've done Thailand, Greece, New Zealand, Spain, Morocco, Portugal, Argentina, and Brazil.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
They were amazing.
What's your favorite spots?
I loved Spain. It was beautiful. The culture was amazing. New Zealand as a country, though, like you can't beat that. It's
I heard.
literally like Jurassic Park. It's unreal. At one point, we were driving on a bus around a corner and went underneath a waterfall. It's
Whoa.
like, it was, and like the adventure there. I mean, and one day I went bungee jumping and then I jumped out of a plane and then I hiked in a glacier in one day.
That's pretty cool.
That's what I heard.
I've heard New Zealand's
You
just
can like
gorgeous, yeah.
surf and ski in one day or
Yeah.
something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I checked a lot of that off my bucket list. And now I just, I did that before I started this company. So now I'm excited to just be in San Diego and enjoy this city because you can do so many cool things here too.
I mean, when you travel that much too, when we've done some traveling too, it's like, and you come back and you're just like, you're flying in here, you're like,
Yeah.
you get to live here. It's still like one of the most amazing spots.
100%.
It's just so easy to live here.
It is. And I used to live in Boston and it was, cold. And here it's like every day. It's just, what you're coming back to. You see those palm trees and you're like, yes. I know.
It's funny because we even complain when it's like, I think last summer was so hot. It was like 85, 90 degrees every day for months, it felt like. And I was like, this is terrible.
I know.
And then I'm thinking, okay, well, people who live in Boston like have to
Yeah.
stay inside for 3 months when
true.
it's snowing or something.
And people are
Yeah.
just generally happier, right?
Yeah.
When it's sunny.
Yeah.
And I went to school in upstate New York and talk about like lake effect, gray, dreary, year round. And people like seasonal affective disorder is real. It's a real thing.
I'm sure it is. I couldn't even imagine. Like we just would never live anywhere. I
Yeah.
met Kenny when I was living in San Francisco, and he was like, "It's too cold."
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to come back to San Diego.
No, I'm originally from Miami. Then here, it's like there's just no
okay.
way. I mean, this is about as cold as it's gonna get for me.
Good for you guys. You figured it out.
Yes. I mean, he came from, like you said, I think Miami was a top spot
Yeah.
for tourism too. So Miami to San Diego pretty much have all the perfect.
What's the if you know, what's kind of some of the maybe some travel statistics here? Like how do you how do you gauge things? Like what's the outlook for San Diego? Obviously there's like new hotels coming in. I mean, the convention center, they're expanding. I mean, you're obviously, when you started your business, you're probably looking at a lot of factors.
Yeah, I was. And the benefit about San Diego, too, though, is just the people who do business here, generally, everyone that I've met, they really care. And it's a small enough city where you can feel like it's a community. Last night, I was at an event for the Meeting Planners Association, and they honored Margie Sitton of the Tourism Authority, who's been here for years. And the mayor was there, and everyone knew everyone in the tourism industry, and it was an amazing event. But it's definitely growing. I know they're working really hard to make San Diego the #1 destination, not just nationally, but internationally. They have a huge team sending in people from China, Japan, Mexico. So that's pretty cool, too, being so close, to the border, obviously. So, yeah, for me, it made a lot of sense to start in this market. And then ultimately, ideally, hopefully I can franchise and do other fit cities, right?
Yeah.
Think about LA, San Francisco, Miami. Like, there are Austin. There are a lot of young, active cities.
And just in California alone, you could have like 5 other.
Oh, it's such a
there's
massive
also
market.
like Laguna Beach and
Absolutely.
Malibu and
Big Sur.
Santa Barbara and Big Sur and
Maybe even Vegas too, even though Vegas
Yeah.
is there. A lot of people go there, but Vegas has such a variety of stuff to do there. It's insane.
You can do anything. And the other thing is that I don't know that a lot of people really know about it because, of course, when we were going to Vegas in our 20s versus now is like such a different experience. It's more like, oh, let's go to that club and that pool party. But then when you're like, I'm not going to the club and the pool party, what else are we going to do?
So, fun fact, I'm going to Coachella this weekend with a group of friends.
Wow.
They fly out every year from Boston, and we kind of have the routine locked down. We go to the pre-party, the after-party. I got an email today from a company that's doing festival fitness. And I'm like, that's it. That's my next thing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're going on a hike on Friday morning before the festival starts.
Yeah.
Either way.
So you feel better about yourself.
But it's sponsored and it's pretty cool. Like they know what they're doing. There are people when you travel, it's so important to work out and to eat healthy and to not lose momentum and just, be whole and be happy. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
I mean, that's why people live here. They want to come vacation here because I think we have vacation rentals in La Jolla Shores, and I know people down there. It's right near the beach, but people want to come here. It's just they want the experience, and I think traveling, because of the internet, because of all the information we have now, it's people want different experiences, especially the younger generation.
Yeah,
they want to go somewhere. It's like some people want to go somewhere and be like, yeah, so I'm just going to go there and sit by the pool. They're like, no, I want to go for a gnarly hike and then come back at 12 and then sit by the pool. Like they want to do some crazy, even if it's in Palm Springs or somewhere else. Like they're looking for that adventure now. And I don't know why that is or what it is about it, but I feel like that is really changing. So when people pick a destination, even us, when we go somewhere, even
we're
Vegas,
looking for an experience.
Even when we go to
totally.
Vegas, every time we're like, what's a new experience we're going to do? Like what is it that we're going to do? Like something fun because there's so much crazy shit to do there.
Axe throwing, crushing cars.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's why, I mean, that was the #1, one of the top destinations there is where we go shoot the guns.
Oh yeah, right.
Like I remember going in there one time, like, there's a bachelorette party of 20 girls. I was like, holy crap.
They have a place where you can smash glass and plates. Like you put on this whole suit and throw shit. It's like that's what people want to do because when do you get to do that? Yeah. And so I hope to be that in San Diego. I mean, that's the ultimate goal is to become the tourist destination of choice because you're right. It's all about experiences.
Yeah.
That's what you remember.
Yeah.
I can't tell you all the trips I've been on. It's like, oh yeah, the bungee jumping. I don't really remember, the museum, which is amazing, I'm sure. But I don't remember it.
But I also think even too, like you said, even going to Coachella, you're kind of like, okay, well that's cool. But what's something else that we could do like while we're out there that would be fun? I mean, you don't just now go for Coachella. You want to go for something more than just that.
Right.
And I think too, when people come to like a place like San Diego, or just keep talking about San Diego because we live here, is where's people like when we travel, we went to Vietnam, we hired this travel guide. And I said, when we got there, he's like, oh, do you want the touristy? No. What do you do?
Yeah.
Where do you eat? Good.
Ask the bartenders.
That's what I want.
Yep.
Yes.
No, what? Yeah. No, I don't. That's where we want to go. Like, he's like, well, it's a hole in the wall. I don't give a shit. So he'd go back there, clean the plates, make sure I'm not going to die from eating. But that's what we want.
Or we had dinner with his family one night. They made us like pigeon stew
amazing.
or something like that. Remember? I mean,
Yeah.
it was just, and it's a place that probably a lot of people would maybe not want to go. But I was like, this is what people do every day here. It was cool to have that.
I mean, we were. It was New Year's Eve.
I've eaten
We're in
pigeon.
Sapa in the mountains, and we hiked down, and we went to basically a village where there's poor, and then there's that. You know, they just live off the land. And we go on this.
So you didn't stand out at all?
No, not at all. No, not at all. No.
He was like a celebrity everywhere we went.
No, nobody wanted to take a picture with me. No, not at all. Could have paid for my trip if I charged for the damn pictures. But we go up to the mountains, and we're in there, and this lady cooked this whole meal, and she had homemade vodka, and we sat in there for 4 or 5 hours and just drank vodka and ate and hung out with her in this little, basically hut that could blow over.
She had no sink. Like her sink was like a spigot coming out of the wall. Like
and it was a fire on the ground, so we put the plate in.
A fire
It's
pit
amazing
to
how
cook.
hospitable they are because that doesn't happen in the U.S.
There was nothing fancy. It was just simple. But once again is he was like, hey, do you want to do this? And some people are like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't trust this. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Yeah,
that's great. We did that in Sevilla, Spain. We ate dinner on a rooftop. It was a family of circus performers. Same thing.
So cool.
So awesome. They pull out, they start performing. They served us a 4-course meal with gazpacho, like the freshest, most amazing Spanish paella. And then at the end, they're playing all instruments and singing. And it's like and the sun's setting, and you're like, this is my favorite day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally hear you. That's really cool.
So what's next for you and your company? Where do you see things going over the next year?
Hopefully bigger expansion, partnerships, doing some monthly series with hotels. I'd love to, work with some big brands and get this kind of rocking and rolling, so it becomes a repeatable experience. And then bringing in some more partners. There's so many new cool partners that come to San Diego and start up these recreation companies.
Really?
Yeah, I just, almost weekly, I think there's a new yoga studio opening, or last week I went and did a ride on the hydro bikes. I don't know if you guys have seen those. They're in the water. So in the bay, you get on a bike, and it's set on 2 kayaks, and you can literally bike through the bay. You're sitting up as if you're on a bike. Bike through the bay. It's really hard. And then they have a class that's taught by a professional mountain bike instructor. And you can actually work out on the bike, and then you go to the beach. And so there's all this cool new stuff. People are so entrepreneurial in San Diego. They're moving here mostly from other cities and want a different lifestyle. They want to kind of make their own schedule, and they're healthy, and they want to help people. So all of it comes together. And those are definitely the people that I want to work with too.
Yeah, San Diego's really becoming it's crazy, just this healthy, entrepreneurial, I know everybody wants to live here. It's expensive, but it's, when the summer's here, it's just you're like, oh, it's just, and everybody wants.
Well, also too, even in January and February, sometimes it's summertime. People get to escape. And I think you're right about that, though. San Diego, I always said, because I lived in San Francisco for 3 years, and then came back to San Diego. And I felt like, wow, San Diego is such a great place for the small business person. You've got that feeling, that sense of community.
Right.
People are a lot more open to meeting you.
Right.
In the city, and I'm sure maybe you even saw this in Boston, it's you can't even get past the front desk guy to go 100%. Talk to someone.
Yeah, you're right. And everyone wants to help someone. Let me help you connect to this person or that person. Yeah. And there's a lot of great networking organizations here. But yeah, the entrepreneurial spirit is real. It's great. Mm-hmm. It's a great community.
What do you work with what's the smallest group you work with?
Generally it's around 10.
Okay.
About 10 people. Because, and those are the bachelorette parties or wedding parties or birthdays. So we have done those, especially with hotels, because they like to customize for those groups, the mermaid classes. But sweet spot is right around 40 or 50 people.
Are you working with any vacation rental companies?
Not yet.
You should.
Yeah.
Because the reason why is if you're a bachelorette, families, things like that, a lot of people are coming here. and
And
they
doing
are,
Airbnbs and
but they might
rentals.
rent 1 or 2 or one house, and there's 10 or 15
There's
in
like
there.
those family reunions.
Yeah,
and stuff.
and I was thinking because when you mention a lot of this stuff, I think everybody just comes here and they're like, okay, let's just do this top 5 things,
Right.
and it's like for a bachelorette party, I mean, a mermaid thing would be
yeah.
hilarious. It's fun, like
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that was definitely my initial intent. I think once I scale up and get some more employees,
Yeah.
then I'm going there next.
No, that'd be good,
But
'cause-
beach boot camps, you're right there on the beach, right? There's a ton of fun stuff you can do.
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming
thanks for
in.
being
Thank
and
you
telling us
both.
more about your business. It's
Yeah.
exciting. I wish you all the luck and success.
Thank you.
And I think you picked a good city to start it in.
Awesome.
For sure.
Thank
Cool.
you both.
Thanks.